Ethan almost said no. It had been a long day in downtown Seattle, the kind that left his shoulders tight and his thoughts heavy. He was locking up the office parking lot when he saw her standing alone near the bus stop, her arms crossed tightly around herself, the night air brushing through her dark hair. Lily. She looked smaller than usual, not the confident woman everyone noticed during the day. Her eyes met his, and for a brief moment, something unspoken passed between them. "My ride canceled," she said, forcing a weak smile. "Would you mind just taking me home? It's on your way." He hesitated. Ethan was 42. Lily was 26. He had spent months drawing clear lines, reminding himself of the distance that should exist between them. She was vibrant, full of life. He was careful, measured, and worn down by years of responsibility. "It's fine," he said finally. "Get in." The car ride began in silence. Streetlights passed like quiet witnesses, casting soft shadows across Lily's face. Ethan focused on the road, but he could feel her presence beside him, warm and restless. She shifted in her seat, her fingers twisting together in her lap. "You don't have to do this," she said suddenly. "I can call someone else." "I already said yes," Ethan replied calmly. "You're safe." The word safe lingered between them. Lily looked out the window, her reflection blending with the city lights. "Do you ever feel like life keeps pushing you forward, even when you're not ready?" Ethan glanced at her briefly. "All the time." She let out a quiet laugh, but it carried no joy. "I thought you'd say something like that." The traffic thinned as they moved toward quieter streets. The world outside softened, and with it, something inside the car shifted. Lily's voice grew steadier, but her eyes shimmered with something she was trying hard to control. "You know," she said, "when I first met you, I thought you were just distant, like nothing could touch you." He tightened his grip on the steering wheel. "People usually say that. But then," she continued, "I noticed how you listen. Really listen. How you notice when someone's hurting, even if they don't say it." Ethan swallowed. He had never meant to be seen that way, especially not by her. They stopped at a red light. For the first time, he turned fully toward her. "Lily, if there's something you want to say, you don't have to force it." She hesitated, her breath uneven. "I'm not forcing it. I've been holding it back." The light turned green, but Ethan didn't move. Her voice dropped to a near whisper. "I didn't ask for this ride just because my car broke down." His heart skipped, sharp and sudden. "Then why?" Lily looked at him now, really looked at him, and the weight in her gaze made the air feel thick. "Because I needed one moment where I didn't have to pretend I was okay." Ethan slowly pulled the car to the side of the road. The engine hummed softly, filling the space neither of them dared to fill yet. "You should tell me if I'm crossing a line," she said. "I'll stop." He shook his head, though he wasn't sure what he was agreeing to. "Just tell me the truth." Her eyes filled, but no tears fell. "The truth is, every time you walk into a room, I feel like I can breathe again. And I don't know when that started, but it hasn't stopped." The words settled between them, heavy and fragile. Ethan stared straight ahead, his chest tight. He had spent years avoiding moments like this, convincing himself that feelings could be managed if ignored long enough. But Lily's confession was already changing everything, and the ride home was far from over. Ethan stayed silent longer than he should have. The car was still parked on the side of the road, the city breathing quietly around them. Lily's confession hung in the air, fragile and exposed, as if one wrong word could shatter it. She stared down at her hands now, regret already creeping into her posture. "I shouldn't have said that," she murmured. "I'm sorry. I'll pretend it never happened." "No," Ethan said quickly, surprising himself with the firmness in his voice. "Don't." She looked up, startled. He exhaled slowly, the weight of years pressing against his chest. "You deserve honesty, even if it's uncomfortable." Lily nodded, her lips pressed together, bracing herself. "I care about you," he began. more than I planned to. But caring doesn't mean I don't see the risks. The age difference. The way people would talk. The way it could hurt you if this isn't real. Her eyes softened. You think I don't know that? Ethan turned toward her fully now. Then why say anything? Because pretending hurts more, she replied. Because every time you treat me like I matter, I feel like I'm lying to myself by staying quiet. The honesty in her voice cut deep. Ethan had built his life around control, around knowing where things ended before they began. Lily was unraveling that without trying. He started the car again, pulling back onto the road. Let me take you home, he said gently. We'll talk. The rest of the drive felt heavier, slower. Lily leaned back against the seat, watching him with cautious hope. The streetlights reflected off her eyes, revealing both fear and relief. When they reached her apartment building, she didn't reach for the door handle right away. Say something, she whispered. Ethan shut off the engine. The silence that followed was intimate, dangerous. I'm scared, he admitted. Not of you. Of wanting something I told myself I shouldn't. Her breath caught. I never wanted to be a mistake in your life. You wouldn't be, he said. That's the problem. Lily's eyes filled, and this time a tear slipped free. I don't need promises. I just need to know I'm not imagining what's been between us. Ethan reached out before he could stop himself, his fingers brushing her hand. The touch was light, respectful, but it sent a quiet shock through both of them. Lily didn't pull away. You're not imagining it, he said softly. She let out a shaky breath, a small smile breaking through. Then that's enough for tonight. She opened the door and stepped out, then paused. Thank you for the ride. And for listening. Ethan watched her walk inside, his heart pounding harder than it had in years. That night, sleep didn't come easily. Images of Lily replayed in his mind. Her voice, her courage, the way she had looked at him like he was something worth wanting. He told himself he would set boundaries, that he would be responsible. But the next morning, when he saw her name light up his phone, his resolve wavered. Lily, I hope I didn't make things weird. He stared at the screen, then typed back. Ethan, you didn't. We should talk again. Her reply came instantly. Lily, I was hoping you'd say that. They met later that evening at a quiet cafe near the river. The air was calm, the sky painted with soft colors. This time, the distance between them felt intentional, careful. I don't want to rush you, Lily said. I just want to know where we stand. Ethan looked at her, really looked at her, and realized something terrifying and beautiful at the same time. He didn't want to walk away. I don't know where this goes, he said, but I want to take the next step. Slowly, honestly. Her smile was gentle, not triumphant. That's all I wanted. Neither of them noticed the man watching from across the cafe, someone who knew Ethan's past, and who understood exactly how dangerous this connection could become. Ethan felt it before he saw it, that quiet pressure at the back of his mind, the sense that something fragile was being watched too closely. As he and Lily left the cafe, the evening air cool against their skin, he noticed a familiar figure step away from the shadows across the street. Mark, an old friend, or at least someone who used to be. Lily sensed the shift in Ethan's body. What is it? Nothing, he said, too quickly. Let me walk you to your car. They moved in silence. The closeness between them felt different now, no longer just emotional, but real and exposed. When they reached her car, Lily turned to him, her eyes searching his face. You're pulling away, she said gently. I'm trying to protect you, Ethan replied. There are parts of my life you don't know, parts that don't end cleanly. She stepped closer, not touching him, but close enough that he could feel her warmth. I don't need perfection. I need truth. Ethan closed his eyes for a moment. Then he opened them and made a decision. There was someone once, he said. Someone younger. I cared for her, but I chose safety over honesty. I walked away without explaining myself. It broke her, and it changed me. Lily listened without interrupting. Mark knows that story, Ethan continued. And if he thinks this is happening again, He won't stay quiet. Lily absorbed his words, then reached for his hand, her grip steady. I'm not her, and you're not the same man. The certainty in her voice shook him. Before he could respond, Mark approached. I wondered how long it would take, Mark said calmly, his eyes flicking between them. You always did repeat your mistakes. Ethan stepped slightly in front of Lily. This isn't your concern. It becomes my concern when someone gets hurt, Mark replied. She deserves to know who you really are. Lily spoke before Ethan could. I do know, and I'm choosing to be here. Mark studied her, then sighed. Just don't disappear on her. That's all I'll say. He walked away, leaving the night quieter than before. Lily turned to Ethan. You don't have to carry this alone anymore. Something inside Ethan finally gave way. Years of restraint, fear, and regret loosened their grip. I can't promise this will be easy, he said. But I won't run. Not from you. Lily smiled, tears shining in her eyes. That's all I ever wanted. He leaned in slowly, giving her time to pull back. She didn't. Their kiss was gentle, careful, filled with everything they hadn't said yet. It wasn't a perfect ending. It was a beginning. Weeks later, they sat in his car again, parked near the same quiet street where everything had changed. The city lights glowed softly around them. Funny how one ride home can change a life, Lily said. Ethan smiled. I thought it was just a favor. She rested her head against his shoulder. It was honesty, and that matters more. As they drove off together, neither of them knew exactly where the road would lead. But for the first time, they were willing to find out.